to the Jesus Path, Come Be Rescued podcast by Peggy Fink. We continue on looking at the adjustments that God may want us to do. And the question, what adjustments do I need in my life to be where God wants me to be? Today is about adjustments in commitments and actions. What have you committed to do today? What do your actions speak about your relationship with Jesus? We don't know what tomorrow brings, yet we make commitments in our lives. We commit to our family, to our work, to follow Jesus. We have commitments even though we might not recognize or think about some of the things we do as commitments. We just do them. Psalms 37:5 says, "Commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust Him, and He will help you." Recently, I made a commitment to help feed twin babies at night. They are almost 8 months old. This meant showing up at 7 p.m. and usually feeding each one 3 times during the night. A commitment of not getting much sleep. But as I rocked the babies and fed them, the Lord gave me the help to do it. I admit, after I said yes, little worry snuck into my thinking that I might not be able to hold them or get them both fed without one of them crying too much. But you know what? The last few times they've spaced out their waking just perfectly. One would wake up and I'd feed him, put him back to bed, and then the little girl would wake up and I would feed her and put her back to bed. I usually had a couple hours to doze off and start again. But of course, the one night, they both woke up at the same time. I started feeding one, and the other one started crying. So I put the one in a rocker, warmed up a bottle, stuck that in the other one's mouth, got them. I was sitting on the floor holding, letting them drink, and I was thinking, thank you for the help, Lord, because you know babies in the middle of the night are not patiently waiting to eat. I showed up. I just had to have the faith that we would have another good night and all would go well. But even when it didn't go well, I knew that my presence with those babies was my purpose for that night. I knew 7 a.m. would come and others would take over. My commitment was to do the best I could with the Lord's help. Our commitments are not always going to be perfect. Commitments bring about the acceptance of the circumstances. Think about Mary, the mother of Jesus, when the angel of the Lord showed up to tell her she would birth the Son of God. Her words, "I am the Lord's servant." That is the commitment to the Lord. And then she accepts the circumstances by saying, "May everything you've said about me come true." Mary's words adjusted to the commitment and circumstances required by God. Another Mary, Lazarus' sister, displays a commitment to the Lord in action. In Luke 10, her sister Mary, meaning Martha's sister Mary, sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught. Reading on, we find Martha, her sister, upset because Mary's not up helping prepare the big dinner that needs preparation for Jesus and the disciples. Martha even makes a statement to Jesus that it is unfair Mary gets to sit and listen while she has to do all the work. But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all these details. There's only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." Mary had made the commitment to the Lord, and her actions to sit and listen and learn what Jesus said displayed that commitment. Martha has shown a commitment also, but her commitment was to prepare the meal for Jesus. Both make a very important commitment. Their actions are different. Their actions probably display their strengths or gifts the Lord gave them. Martha probably was a very good cook and organizer of providing meals for people. Mary probably loved to learn from Jesus, and we think was one of the women who followed and was committed to following Jesus. Each one committed something differently, and yet it was their way. We come back to the reflective questions. What have you committed to do today? What do your actions speak about your relationship with Jesus? And finally, what adjustments do I need in my life to be where God wants me to be? Sometimes our attitudes get in the way of our commitments. Martha did a great commitment, but her jealousy or her concern that Mary wasn't helping her got in her way of her commitment to the Lord. Mary, she just sat there. She just wanted to listen. She just wanted to learn. She was focused on her commitment to the Lord. Some days we make those commitments, and no matter what, we need to remember our presence is our purpose to do the work we've committed to do. Commit to Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. Blessings as the Lord shows you the adjustments He would like to make in your life, in your commitments and your actions to be where He wants you to be.